Technology, who knows what goes on?
Well,
Welcome back, everyone. Jamie and I are talking about the 5 phases as you as an entrepreneur. So there's some quick framework here. Episode 1 was phase 1, the doer. You are the business. Everything depends on you, and burnout becomes normalized. Phase 2 is the awakening. You start noticing what's not working mentally, financially, and emotionally, even if you don't know how to fix it yet. Phase 3 is what we're going to talk about today, and I'm super excited. It's the builder. It's actually probably the largest phase out of the 5 of them. Your intentionally designed system so the business stops living in your head and that you can start to step out of the business. It's just baby steps, baby steps. Um, Phase 4, the leader. You shift from doing the work to leading people, decisions, and outcomes. Oh, that just gives me goosebumps getting there.
right, right.
And then phase 5 is the visionary CEO. Hopefully, by then you have gotten all of your dreams and desires uh, forthwith, and you're building assets, leverage, long-term impact beyond the day-to-day operations. That's when you're making your 5-year plan, or you're expanding into other markets, or you're adding on extra layers of income like short-term rental cleaning or laundry or whatever it is that you're deciding
A
to do.
franchise,
Mhm.
you know,
Franchising is big. I'm seeing that happen a lot. We're
yeah,
gonna see that
and
happen a lot
a
this
lot
year.
of things, yeah, yeah, because we're building a whole system,
Mhm. A whole ecosystem.
a whole system. So, I feel like I'm in all 5 phases of my
To
business.
various degrees.
And yeah, to various degrees. And I'm not afraid to share it with you guys. Um, if anything, this podcast has helped me learn so much as I give everything about what's going on because I'm just like everybody else. Shannon's just like everybody else, but she's been there, done that, and she has built a service that I wanted to strive to be. Uh, she's been there, done that. She's made a million, she made, built, and sold $1 million house cleaning industry service.
Hmm.
And that's somebody that I hope to achieve, I know this sounds like, oh my gosh, $1 million. In today's economy, I don't believe that is too far off.
It's very
Uh,
realistic now. In the past, it was like, oh my God, $1 million. We're never gonna get there. But now you're gonna start to see $5 million businesses. There's a couple of
already
$20
do.
million businesses,
We're already seeing that,
massive markets in different states and all that other stuff. So we're starting to see a lot of people line up for the bigger prize. So
right? And there's you know, I'm almost there. I'll be
almost
there.
there.
So,
So phase
um,
3 is the builder. Would you like to do the intro on the builder?
yeah, so phase 3, the builder. This is where we're taking everything that's in our head and it's finally leaving out of your head. And it's where it's feeling a little different. Um, it's not easy, but it's definitely there's definitely some here, let me there it's definitely more clear. Um, you're still growing, you're still stretching and it's still not easy, but you're starting to take everything that's in the head and putting it down. You're putting it into your booking platform. You're starting to structure uh everything, your do's, your don'ts. It's not living in your head anymore. You've stopped pretending that you can hold everything together mentally. You've realized that awareness alone isn't enough. Motivation don't save you. What you need now is structure. And this is where the structure starts coming in. Believe it
So
or
this
not, and if that's not how it might not look like that to you guys. It might not look like you might not realize that what you're doing is structuring your business.
Mhm.
I was like, what's that even mean? I don't know. Uh, Checklist. If you're using a checklist, that's part of the structure. That has gotten out of your head and onto a piece of paper. Hiring, the do's and don'ts of hiring, the do's and don'ts of firing, what they have to sign, what they don't. These are all things that I've learned as went along. It's like, oh, I can't do that no more. Um, and I'd ask because I'm not good. Again, I'm not good at tech. Believe it or not, I am not good at tech. I sometimes fumble through it, but I have somebody that helps me a lot. Like I can get it out of my head and over to Sarah, and then she can help structure it. And I'll tell her what I want. I need something as simple as media release forms to protect my company and my assets. I don't need uh, people coming back to me after they're gone and saying, uh, "Why are you still using my photo?" Well, I use photos for, I spend a lot of money on these professional photos to get done. So I'm going to continue to use it, whether they're there or not. So it just protects you. But this is where it comes, the business that lives in your head starts to come out of your head and you're starting to structure it.
Right. So you
Um,
have more, technically, you have more good days than bad days. It starts to be a shift. Like initially, it's rough. Every shift, you're trying to piece it together, stick it together with bubble gum, pray, keep, praying and keeping your fingers crossed that it makes it to the end of the day. And then you start to become more aware. And then phase three really is about getting it out of your head and into your ecosystem, right? And I also had a bad experience with the media release. And I'm telling you this because it just popped into my head. Way back in the day when I had Castle Keeper Cleaning, I made all of these training videos and I featured one particular cleaning tech. Well, this was a while ago. I wasn't bright enough at the time to understand that I needed a media release. And then she left on bad terms. And then she sued me in court, and they determined that I had no legal recourse, even though she agreed verbally, because I did not have anything in writing. So you should have a media release in your onboarding for your clients in case you want to take before and afters. Obviously, use your discretion. Don't put, hey, this Monet is at this house, right? And this is where they live.
right.
And the same deal with your cleaning techs. You want to be able to film them in action. Jamie just mentioned she spent thousands of dollars on branding photos for the crew. Plus, they get paid for it. So there's that expense too. So just make sure that you're putting the right foot forward so that you're not sabotaging yourself inadvertently like I did. I still have the videos. And
Well,
it's funny to look at the technology because it's changed so much in the 10 years.
these are things that yeah, I got bit on a couple of things, and it's because I literally did not have the structure in place. I've made a post. It's like whenever the universe tells you not to do it, and it's like, well, they won't do that to me, and it's like, well, here you go, you dummy. Here you go. Let's try it one more time then. And that's because it's like, duh. Um, I need to put I need to put something in place. So I have been able to, and if you guys are more tech savvy than I am, some people can whip out a PDF or some, I I can't. I can't. I cannot use what is it, Google Sheets or Google, you know, Excel or whatever.
I've gotten good with those too, especially in
Uh,
the
I'm I can't. So I need help with that. I have good ideas, but I need help implementing those ideas and putting them onto paper to build this business, to make sure it's structured. Can I learn it? Probably. But my focus is better elsewhere, and I know when to hand that baton off. And
totally.
but this is also where you start realizing all the problems. If it's something's happening over and over again, that's whenever you're building something, you need to put something into place. Like the media, like Shannon just said about the media release forms, or what's another one? Gosh, there's
There's
laundry.
hundreds of them.
Yeah, the laundry. These are believe it or not, these are called your SOPs, your standard operating procedures.
Mhm.
Or some people call them playbook, or some people call them microplays. Uh, Whatever you call it, I call it SOPs. Shannon, I think, calls it SOPs. This is where it's coming out of the head and you're starting to build your business.
Mhm.
Uh,
So
which,
you're shifting from awareness to intention.
yeah, yeah. And it's not, none of it's easy. None
No,
of it's easy because I feel like again, and I said this maybe in the last episode, is that it's you're in your own habit. It feels comfortable. Everything's running smooth, and then bam, something happens, and it's like, okay, this has happened 3 times this month, or well, we'll talk about cancellations.
right. That's always a big one.
Cancellations is a big one. I implemented that we charge 100% if you have not, and this is not for people that are sick, I give grace. We're talking about people that have been,
Chronic.
yeah, that, oh, I'm on vacation and I totally forgot about it. Da 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 da. I had that happen the last month
I
with
believe it
somebody.
so.
And I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. I can't fill that spot. This is our busiest time of the year, which is December. It's our busiest time of the year, and that just threw everything off. It could have, it could have financially, for my cleaning tech, for everybody. And because I had that in place, the 48 hours, 100%, they know. They automatically know. Go ahead and charge my, I understand I messed up. It's not my fault. Or somebody forgot to leave the key, lockouts, stuff like
Back when
that.
I was Mary Maid, there was many incidences where we would show up to the house and no one, we didn't get paid. They were like, "Oh, so sorry. See you later. Thanks
You
for coming in."
clocked
You're
in.
like, "But I just drove all the way over here." And that's why I was like, or the house takes the hit. You pay the cleaning tech and then you get nothing and then it ends up eating away at your profit margin, especially if you have five or six or seven of them. That can happen too.
Yeah,
But yeah, you got to be really careful with your baby that you're growing.
and it is that this is like or like raising a child.
Mhm.
Um, it really is, and there's a lot of us out there, and so yeah, you start deciding to solve them deliberately.
Right.
And what that means is now you're like, I'm putting that policy in place. And you might seem like it's like nickeling and diming in it. It's not. It's you don't want this problem to continue to hit you
Right.
or to hit your cleaning techs. Um,
Or when you're in the car losing your temper and you're like, "This is never happening again. Never."
yeah.
Right. We've all done that once or twice. So phase two is where you've noticed the problems, and in phase three is where you decide to solve them deliberately and with intention. So you stop asking what should I do next, and you start asking what should exist so this doesn't depend on me anymore, so that you can start to delegate even more things to your staff so it ends up developing them and they end up staying longer because they're getting something more out of it than just cleaning houses. Um, and that question alone changes everything. So phase three is where you stop reacting and you start designing. So if you have not done so, we're in the beginning of the year. What things do I want? If you had a Christmas wish list on things that you wanted to fix for your cleaning business, laundry list them out.
Right.
Then you can go to, you can either go backwards or forwards, or if you're having trouble, you can go to ChatGPT and say, how can I fix this in my business? And that will, and sometimes you need a coach and sometimes you don't. I told 3 people last week that they didn't need a coach. I don't know what the other people are going to tell them, but they weren't, I'm happy to take their money, but I'm not, I'm like, you're not ready for me. I'm happy to come and show up and dangle my lasso, right?
Yeah, right. No, you have to be, you do. Whenever hiring a coach, you guys, you have to be ready to be criticized and do what they tell you to do. But how I got to where I'm at is Sh Shannon told me what to do, and I went out there. And not only that, and then I came back to her and celebrated with her. Like, I did it. I did it. So many times, so many celebrations, so many milestones. Um, it's There's a lot of there's been heavy times and there's been really empowering times, and that's all part of this process. So, and it looks like it says this is often the first time business owners realize how much they were personally propping up.
Yeah, you were on the bottom pushing everybody up, and that shifts so that you're starting to delegate more to your cleaning techs and your crew or your shift lead or whoever you have. So yeah, and then you can go on vacation and you're like, so I didn't get a call from anybody. Were there any fires? You're like, don't worry about it. But yeah, you can get there. Jamie's left on vacations a couple of times already, so that's been really
I did
nice to
baby
see.
steps. I did baby steps.
Mhm.
I, because I had systems in place, and systems are these little micro plays, whatever, in place for me to set up so that I could do to be able to do that. And I would start off with, you know, a long day trip or 2 days. Then it went to 4 days. And the place never burnt down. Money,
Which was awesome.
but
Yay!
you know that it blew my mind that it was like I am on a vacation. And there was maybe a little guilt at first, not now, but a little guilt at first. But I'm like, I'm making money while I'm out. We're still making money. It just blew me away on from employees, from having employees. And it was just, and not
Having
only
the right employees, not just
that,
employees, having the right
yeah,
employees.
and just, well, and it was like they're making money too. I had my systems in place. And it's very nice whenever it starts doing that. And there's not times there, not to say that there's times whenever I still to this day have oh, that's got to go somewhere. That's got to go somewhere on our um CRM, or I use Connect Team. I'm still building that. That's a huge, it's like building almost like Jobber, but for employees, for HR, for the HR. That's what phase I'm in it. I'm building something for human resources. And it's amazing to realize how much stuff lives in your head. If it lives in your head, how people are so dependent on you then.
Hmm.
You're the only person that can fix it.
Right. You don't want to be the only person that can fix anything.
No, no, you really need to get it out of your head. It can be very hard sometimes, and put it
Again,
down.
it's,
It's whenever it feels uncomfortable like that, which it is, that's growth.
mhm.
Believe it or not, that's growth. I know I'm going through another growth spurt. It feels like I'm going through rubber. My face is going through rubber. And you can get through to the other side. It's just, and because I've been in this place of growth before, I know that that's what this is now. You may see it differently. Like, some people might turn back around and be like, I'm not ready for all that. But
Mhm. That's okay.
whenever you take those steps to go forward, and trust yourself, trust that you're a good business person, not just a good cleaner. A lot of people are just great cleaner and start off solo cleaning. Some people, don't want to do, if you don't want to do this forever and run a business, you're going to have to, and scale, you're going to have to put it down and put these systems in place to
Right.
build your building.
And ultimately, that needs to be your decision. Don't let anyone pressure you into doing something you don't want to do. Because I know plenty of solos who've been doing it 35 years. Bless them for having the capacity on their bodies to continue to do so. But then there's the other part of the industry, which is mostly what we talk to, who do want to scale. And
They
it's
just don't know how
exciting
to
to
do it.
watch and see and be present. I get to see a lot of inside baseball stuff that not everyone is exposed to because of the relationships I have established in this industry. So I get to see the juicy bits, right? So yeah, make sure it's your decision. And you have to think of how many decisions have only lived in your memory, getting them out on paper. How much consistency depended on your presence. And Jamie brought up a valid point, making sure you're starting to delegate. And then how often problems were solved through effort instead of systems. So effort, what that means is a crisis has happened. You're like, you immediately Rolodex to the last episode that happened. You got the 5 steps in your head, but it's not written down anywhere. So you have all of your cleaning techs running around like a chicken with their head cut off. And you're like, well, you just need to do steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're like, well, we didn't know steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe one of them did because they went through it with you and they might remember maybe 2 of the 5 steps. But unless you start to take active steps, those guys are not going to know. They're not going to say, well, go to paragraph C, part A. This is what we do in this incident,
So
right?
far, yeah, so far down into the never-ending hole, right?
It can and it can be a never-ending
Mhm.
hole. And then the realization that can feel confronting once you start to acknowledge that you know you cannot walk on water, which is totally fine. You start to see where the patterns start to repeat themselves so that you can start to take steps. And again, it can be an episode where you go out to your car and you curse at like a truck driver, and or it could be that you ate $1,500 and that makes you like, whoa, right? But if you start to take steps in the direction you need to go, it's not confronting. You're trying to take the bull by the horns and get some sort of strategy going. Maybe the first time you grab the bull by the horns is probably not the best idea. I've watched those things in Spain every year. And I'm like, just move out of the way. Have
Oh
you ever
yeah,
seen those, Jamie?
yes, yes,
They
and
get
there,
gored by the hook. Like those guys are mad. They got,
uh,
they
yeah,
get gored
I
and
sure
everything. It's
have.
pretty graphic. So
Yeah, I sure have. But this isn't, you're not doing anything wrong.
no,
That's not what this is about. This is, you're starting to see that what was living inside of your head, it can't work if you don't get it out. If you're
right.
not building something, it can't, it's unsustainable, it's unscalable.
Hmm.
If it,
And systems really are about control. If you have systems in place, you can release a lot of control.
and I can tell you in the beginning, yeah, it feels a little uneasy because it feels like, am I doing this right? But whenever you start seeing people get what you have put in place, boy, I'm telling you, it's so gratifying. It's like, oh my gosh, it's working. It's working. And as you guys know, I have such bad ADHD. I'm all over the place. You guys can tell probably through the podcast, but I get really excited and passionate. That was the same for me trying to tell people, but whenever I'm able to put it down, structured to build the business, and somebody gets it, boy, it's a moment of happiness. Um, so yeah, the phase three is not about the systems, uh, is that systems are about riggedy. They're not. Systems are about removing decision fatigue. Oh, how many of us have gotten so tired? Like, how many times do I need to repeat myself?
Why
Like, how come they're
did you
not
listen the
getting this?
last 50 times?
Yeah, how come they're not getting this?
Right.
Uh, and then that's creating consistency without micromanaging because then you're micromanaging, you're fatiguing your own self, and you are like nee, 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 nee. That needs to go down into a system. That needs to go into something, and making outcomes predictable. This and this happens. then it's predictable. You're setting your business up for success.
Mhm.
Uh, it can't live here, you guys. It cannot
Right.
live in your head. It can't. So,
So here's an example of making outcomes predictable. In the summer in Arizona, we get the monsoons that come through and they are brutal. It'll be dry, the sun is out, the birds are singing like in the movie Heidi, and then storms come in right away and it's not like a tink tink tink, it's like
yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah,
sometimes it throws the breaker off. So you have to have a policy in place on what to do if we arrive on site and there's no electricity or no water running because everyone's on a well out here, right? And you need the well, the electricity to make the well pump the water up to the surface. So you have to have a policy in place on what to do should monsoons happen. And we, due to inclement weather, we have no control over the weather. If we cannot access water or electricity, we will have to reschedule you, and unfortunately, we will charge you a show-up fee of the full cleaning amount. And that's an outcome that's predictable. So that you've settled it down, the customer knows they're going to have to pay, the cleaning tech knows they're getting paid, and you can just keep on marching on. So either you can fit them back in the schedule maybe on the following day, maybe you can't fit them on the schedule, maybe they have to wait a week, but that's a predictable outcome.
yeah, yeah. We've had to have that. We have atmospheric rivers.
Right.
I'm sure that's the same thing as a monsoon. Um,
They used to
so
call them seasonal creeks.
yeah, we have if
Bring it
anything,
back.
yeah, if anything is out of our control, like weather, a lot of you get snow. Trust me, I've lived there, been there, done that. I've lived all over America. So I know what it's like to drive in snow or to shovel, you know, you would have a system in place
Hmm.
that would say what for your cleaning techs on what to do, what to do for your clients. Their clients sometimes don't know.
Right.
For us, it's earthquakes too.
Yeah. Well,
We,
thankfully, we don't have to deal with that.
oh, I hate them. Yeah. Um, a system is simply a decision you don't want to keep remaking, or keep saying it over and over and over and over, or something happens over and over and over. That's a system. You're putting a system down. You're putting it out of your head into your computer, into your CRM, into your Connect team, into whatever some people use ClickUp, whatever it is that you're using, you're putting that in there. I myself I'm creating it, and it feels really gratifying whenever you can finally go, oh, I got that out of my head and onto this Connect team. This is for my employee, but I had to do that in the beginning
Right.
for the client. Whenever I still constantly, that's whenever I was still constantly working in the business. I'm in and out sometimes.
And when you're initially building, it can take a little longer on the front end, but once you have it built, you just reference the paper or the drive or wherever you're storing it. And so it's to build the right things first. So we all know, and you hear me shout it from the rafters, you need to have a cancellation policy. I cannot tell you the importance of that. We are a professional trade, the 2030. You hear me talk about it on my soapbox all the time. So you need to build things the right way. And that usually means like pricing clarity, being specific, making sure that you're, as we talked about in the last episode, price increases. And then sometimes you underbid a job, how to negate, I underbid this, what do I do now? Or I overbid this, what do I do here? Or they've changed the dynamics and they don't use the top floor or the basement, they only use the main level. How much is that? Because they've been with you for 15 years, right? So those are pricing clarity. Scope clarity, we talk a lot about scope creep, and people test. They're like kids, like they're like brothers and sisters, they're siblings. My two like egg each other on and egg each other on and egg each other on. They just know which buttons and which combination to push to get the other one to set off. And clients are the same way. They don't intentionally, I would like to believe, they don't intentionally go about their day, go, how can I mess with Shannon and Jamie? I think that they have had it happen because everyone has bent over backwards to appease them. So when Shannon and Jamie don't do that, they're like, "Well, the other cleaner did. Well, why didn't you go with that cleaner company?" They went out of business because they weren't charging enough. They didn't have pricing clarity. And then processes, top to bottom, left to right. Everyone talks about the speed cleaning method. Thank you, Debbie Sardone, for taking Jeff Campbell's product, making it even bigger and better. We are all thankful for you for that. But if you don't know top to bottom, left and right, you're going to have to go and look up those videos of Jeff Campbell in the 80s. It's awesome with his little mustache
It's painful. I have the book.
and his jeans.
It's painful, but you know what? It's a very I have a little that's another thing. I have worksheets in English and in Spanish
Right.
that I have ordered from Speed Cleaning. They have to do a test. I have taken out all the tests in the back, the answers in the back. They have a little card. There's 8 steps, 10 steps of
I
how to
believe
do
I have one of those.
make every move count. Boy, I think I
Probably
don't
need to revisit those. It's been a while
I
since I've
sure
looked.
do.
Don't quote me. Maybe we can do an episode just on the speed cleaning steps in the future
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
In the future, that would be great.
Wait, I think I do have them here. Hold on.
Yes,
So we
yes.
have them. Make every move count.
Sorry, guys.
Right tools. Work from top to bottom. If it isn't dirty, don't over clean it. Don't rinse or wipe surfaces before it's clean. Don't keep working after it's clean. That's where the OCD comes in because I'm guilty of this myself. What if you're doing isn't going to work? Then shift to a heavier duty cleaner tool. Keep your tools in impeccable shape. So don't let your cleaning techs out there with broken brushes. They're trying to scrub
Dirty.
bathrooms. Repetition makes for smoother moves. Pay attention to what you're doing. Keep track of your time. Use both hands. And if there's more than one of you, work as a team, not as an independent. But yeah, we could have a whole episode just
We
on
can do that.
those
We'll
tools.
do that for you guys. Um, but that okay, take that. That is a system.
Yes,
Jeff
it is.
Campbell got that out of his head and made a whole book about it. Got it.
Several versions of it.
Let me tell you what, he was a very, very successful person. Um, Debbie Sardone has since taken, oh, actually, her daughter, Amy Sardone, has taken over the speed cleaning.
The
Uh,
chemical part of it.
and
Scientist, from what I remember.
and that's a system. And that is a system that was made back in the 80s that is used to this very day in almost
Almost
a
everyone's business.
lot, yeah, everybody, a lot of successful businesses,
Mhm.
cleaning businesses.
So
That's a
here are some common traps and mistakes that you can make in phase three. Trying to systemize every scenario at once. Just pick one, flesh it out, test it, make sure it works, tweak it some more, do the same thing over, and repeat that process. Creating documents that no one actually uses, and you can be guilty of this because you can create this wonderful document and never make anyone read it. Or like, didn't you read the document that I wrote on toilet cleaning? And you're like, no, right?
I'm guilty, totally guilty of that. I'm like, oh, I must have not have given it to you. Sorry.
Right. Overbuilding before validating, giving someone a big chunk of information without them working through all of the kinks is overwhelming to anybody, so don't do it to them.
Too much at once.
Mhm.
Too much at once. Slow it down. Do it a little bit at a time. You're building this. You're
Right.
building a little bit at a time.
And then forgetting that systems must be taught, not just written. So I am a very visual, hands-on learner. I learn by doing. Not everybody learns by doing. Some people learn by reading. I both. I need both of them to work,
Yep.
and I need it to happen
Hand in
multiple
hand.
times before I go, oh my God, I got it, right? I'm just one of those people.
I'm going to say it. Connect team is, we're in the day and age. Now, just because I said connect team, I'm the one that's doing that. There's other apps out here, but we are in the day and age of technology for you to be able to read and video and put that into your system.
Right.
of how we are doing this. So, okay.
And then systems only work if they're simple. Keep it simple,
Mm.
stupid. I'm a big advocate of that. If they're accessible, like they're not in the binder that's in the back of the office underneath the box by behind the purple thing. And that they're repeatable, so they have to be easy to implement. So don't make it 72 steps for speed cleaning. Make it just the 12 steps for cleaning. I don't know why this hopped up here, so we'll
Uh,
just
yeah. I, we have I believe it's 21 point system that we do, that we check. So, make sure that, maybe video yourself. Maybe this is an ideal. Maybe video yourself doing this is so that you don't forget. But whenever you actually video yourself, don't forget to go and put that down somewhere. Again, we're in the day and age of technology. If you're still a pen and paper person, good for you because boy, and if that pen and if that paper just stays at your house or in your office, how is that? Where's that going out to for anybody else to learn that?
right. They're not
Don't
gonna because they
gatekeep.
can't read your mind.
Don't gatekeep what you're doing. You've had your system in place for protection of your business as well.
Right. So there's a little bit of an identity shift that makes phase three work. This phase requires a specific identity change. So you'll move from, I'll remember how this goes because it's I'll do it later, to the business should know how this goes. And then everyone should be able to access that information to know how the business should go and not back like, well, Shannon said, blah, blah, blah. That shift is uncomfortable at first, especially for high performers.
Oh,
But it's the moment burnout starts reversing. So if you want to end the burnout and you're facing a lot of burnout in your business, adding some stabilization is going to be a good thing for you. You'll have fewer fires to put out, more predictable days, smooth running shifts, clearer expectations where you're going on vacation and you're earning money from employees while you're on vacation having a good time.
blows me away
And
still.
it's a less emotional exhaustion. So your brain won't hurt at the end of the day because you had to overthink about the 57 fires you just put out for today. And that stability is what makes leadership possible later. Without phase free, without
Hey,
phase three,
you
it's a tongue
can't be
twister.
free.
Phase four collapses, which is what we're going to talk about in the next time we meet up. And this phase is where burnout starts to heal. This is important. The system stops requiring you to compensate, and this is where the relief begins, not because the work disappears, but because the work becomes intentional. Everything that you do has an intention. You're no longer building the business around your capacity, you're building one around structure.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really helps me to stay on track. Trying instead of me trying to explain to somebody, again, I have ADHD, and me trying to train, forget about it. I'm the worst at it because I'm just all over the place. So having the system that Shannon has made for the podcast. I have notes that I can follow. It keeps me structured and on track. Otherwise, I'll say, Shiny, we'll talk about something else. But it helps me stay on track. She has built this system, um, not just this system, but several others. I don't know how you do it, but it's great.
Definitely. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for
And
tuning.
yeah, we'll leave some stuff in the show notes on how, if you need some copy and paste, Shannon will leave some stuff down in the show notes for the Clean Freaks University. All her documents are down in there. Guys, give her a check out. It's really helped my business, and I know that it'll help yours. And I cannot wait to see you next time on the next show.
Take
Bye,
care.
you guys.
Bye.